All right, guys, absolute scorcher this weekend. The Miller Lite hit a little different because of how hot it was.
It was like you needed it.
I know.
You needed it to survive.
I know it was just brutal. Everyone knows, everyone felt it, but the sweat on the can was just instant almost.
Did you do the neck move?
It was instant. Of course, yes. Yeah. I did the neck move, put it on the neck.
You're going golfing today. You're going to need that neck move for like hours.
I don't know if you're going to make it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a battle. I'm not going to say it's not going to be. But I will have Miller Lite to accompany me, and that's a good thing. So, Miller Lite, the official beer of the Chicago Bears. Go to MillerLite.com/stretch to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. We have some fun Miller stuff coming up.
Oh, yeah.
One involving a White Sox game. So we will have details for you soon. But yeah, we will have events soon where we will all be drinking Miller Lite, hanging out, and commiserating over Chicago sports.
That's the best thing to commiserate over. Yes. Miller Lite with Ed is Chicago sports.
That's what it's all about. So yeah, we're rolling into I really feel like summer started last week. So
yeah, the weather's here.
Yes.
It's here.
Finally,
all the big sports are over.
Exactly. So summer Millers are here. And make sure you are stocked up appropriately and responsibly. All right, welcome to the stretch. Weirdly, obviously, it's a very dead period because we're in the dog days of baseball. But I do feel like there's some good things to get into today, mainly being the NBA. Did you guys watch Game 7?
I did.
A little bit. It was on. Okay. It was on in the background.
It's rare when you see a moment. Did you see that Haliburton injury? Mm-hmm. That you know is going to affect so many people so greatly. There's just a whole generation of Indiana fans that will never forget that moment. It's their Drose situation, but is it worse
to be that close?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's worse.
I think so too.
I think it's worse too.
And also, we didn't know how
Derrick Rose
would be affected in the later years.
Never the same. He never dunked.
Yes.
Again.
Exactly.
Which was insane. Remember that? He went like 18 months without dunking a basketball.
Yes. I don't remember.
After he came back. Like, he was just not the same guy.
Yeah.
He lost all explosiveness. Yeah.
He reinvented himself, had a good career afterwards. He was good.
Yes, he retooled his thing. He wasn't a guy who went to the rim as much. He ended up being able to shoot a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was fine, but he was never the all-star MVP.
His chin's at the rim.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I instantly, it goes down as one of the worst injuries.
Yeah.
I can think of.
Well, and he's probably out for most of next year.
The whole year.
The entire he's not playing next year.
I mean, you can see Aaron
Rodgers
getting close at 40 that year with the Jets where he did it week 1. There was talks of him coming back. I feel like that timeline has shrunk, that maybe he could be back in April or something, but at that point, why even try?
For sure.
So, yeah, it's way worse. And you could see it, TJ McConnell was sobbing walking back, and then he's just on the crutches. You get a hug from Reggie Miller at the start of the tunnel, and then you walk all the way back, and it's Haliburton on crutches hugging his guys.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And he had 9 points to start the game too.
He was on fire.
He was just ripping it up.
Couldn't miss. And then that happens. And it's just one of those moments where I sat there, I was like, man, that whole generation is going to think about
what could have been.
Yes.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah, it does.
And is the worst part of sports. Because you don't know. Obviously, they were a scrappy, fun team. They probably overachieved in some respects, which is a testament to them because they were just...
It's hard to do in the NBA.
For sure. It's hard to do in the NBA. And they were just a great collection of teammates, forming one unit, So credit to them, but who knows if they'll be back. But that kind of leads me into my greater question, obviously, the Chicago Sports Podcast, is... The East is fucking weird next year. He's out.
Yeah.
Tatum's out.
Knicks have a coach yet?
Knicks do not have a coach.
Yeah.
The Cavs are still going to be the Cavs.
Bucks are trading Giannis.
Maybe, yes.
Most likely.
Yes.
But it seems like all the smoke.
So, I don't know what's going to happen with the Bulls. I don't know where this leaves them at all.
I think
you would think that they would be all right, there's blood in the water here.
You would think, yes.
You have an opportunity either to go one of two ways. To try to be competitive because it's wide open, or be you know what, maybe the Pacers want Kobe White now, and we can get something nice for him, or and try to dismantle it and tear it down, and take advantage of some of these teams who are like, hey, it is wide open. We'll give up more of the future for Kobe White or whatever. But it feels like they're just not going to do that.
For sure, and that's kind of where I want.
Jerry's probably eyeballing the 7 seed now.
For sure.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Their record last year was 39-43.
He's eyeballing the 6 seed.
I would say
he's eyeballing being out of the playing game.
Yeah.
But that's where I think the conversation gets interesting is because we saw the Durant trade yesterday too, which is crazy. Big blockbuster like that, one of the greatest players of all time, getting traded on the day of Game 7.
Yeah. Which is kind of odd, too.
Yeah, it is. A lot of people are.
He was on stage at like a Fanatics event.
Yeah, a lot of people are giving Adam Silver shit for letting that happen.
Also, this is kind of mean, but the camera was panning the crowd at one point during Game 7 yesterday, and I saw Adam Silver from like the side for the first time ever. It was jarring.
Why?
He's just like such a alien-looking human being, where it's like I've become accustomed to seeing him like straight on with the camera, seeing him as like a day walker, was like, holy shit, like this guy.
Night walker.
Yeah.
Like the alien from Science.
Yes. Yeah, it was like, holy shit. But yeah, Silver, that you probably
Who's the bad guy?
The NFL would never have let that trade get broken before.
Oh, no.
Before that.
Yeah.
Who's the guy from Harry Potter, Voldemort?
Yeah, he's got some Voldemort.
He's got a little Voldemort in him.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I think he's got more Slugworth in him.
Is that another Harry Potter guy?
Wonka. Willy Wonka.
Oh, I haven't seen it in forever.
Come on, the guy who corners Charlie in like the thing.
I don't know, maybe. I'm sure you're right. He's a scary looking guy though.
Yeah. Regardless.
Yeah.
You brought up Giannis. I don't think we have the pieces to
They don't.
anything close to
They have the 12th pick, and then you're not gonna. Who are you gonna give up for him?
So that's the thing. The Bucks don't have any of their picks, so they don't have motivation to be bad.
Right.
So whoever they trade Giannis for, they're going to look for a couple good pieces back and obviously large draft capital.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we have that, and I also don't even know if that's the right move. And you might call me crazy for saying that, but I don't know.
I don't think it. But it's like, even let's say they.
And
let's say they add Giannis for free. Does that make him a championship team?
Yes.
Close to it, yeah.
You think this current Bulls team with Giannis is a championship team?
In the East right now, yeah, if you had Giannis them, they're an immediate contender in the East.
I don't know if it's a championship team. I do think it makes them an Eastern Conference Finals team, especially considering the guys who are out, because that basically would make it a 3-horse race with us, New York, and Cleveland.
And who's the starting five?
But even
it's Giannis. Who's your 4?
You're saying if we got him for free?
Yeah.
Okay. If we got him for free, it'd be Giddey. It'd be Kobe White.
Yeah.
It would be Giannis, Vooch, and Bazelis probably.
That's what I would say.
That's probably it.
I don't think that's enough. I don't think you're.
Giannis is such a force, dude. Giannis almost, put it this way, they lost to the Pacers in 5 in the first round.
Yeah.
Every game was close though, and he had nothing. He is such a force of nature. He changes everything. So I think it would be enough.
He won a championship with his second best player being Chris Middleton.
Who
was good. He was a lot better at the time.
Middleton was awesome that year.
Was Drew Holiday on that team too?
Yeah,
he was really good at that point too. So that's a formidable 3.
They got kind of curb stomped by the Pacers, Ed. One game was close.
You didn't watch
a couple.
Games,
okay, yeah,
reading the score sheet doesn't mean you watched it.
That's true.
It was a closer series than that. The scores project.
I just don't know. I think I don't think the team is that good.
If you got him for free, you're still instantly closer than you would, and you'd be maybe one tiny piece away. You'd be
right
competing a lot. Yes, with Giannis, you'd be competing for a championship. You could win.
You'd almost have to get Caruso back for free, because I don't think that team can guard anyone.
Yeah,
that team can't guard anyone. Vooch isn't guarding anyone. The only guy who can play defense is for sure. You had one of the best players in the world for free. I just don't. I don't think the pieces around them, to your point, is it the right move? If it's not getting you a championship, then what's the point?
Yeah, and
I don't think that team can guard.
And the package would have to be crazy. It's hard to imagine a package that doesn't
involve Buzelis.
And very hard to I don't know if Kobe, Vooch, and
12
and like 3 future
5 first round picks.
Yes.
and Patrick Williams. I still don't know if that gets
fucking
it done.
give him Patrick.
What's
Williams.
what's a
Exactly.
comparable player that you could that's been
Giannis?
traded? Yeah, that's been traded where you can reference what
don't
they
think
gave
there is.
up.
I don't think there is, because if you look what Michael Bridges went for, if you look what Desmond Bain just went for,
10 first round picks.
exactly,
Yeah.
and you can't
So,
trade that
dude,
many. I don't think.
This is like,
But the only silver lining is, like I said, is they are playing to win, because they can't just tear it all down. They don't have their picks. They gave away all their picks.
I know.
So I don't know. Regardless,
Which I don't. They got a championship, so who cares?
Yeah.
for
But
sure.
at the same time, it's like Sam Presti. Like, can we just trade for him somehow? Because
Remember when that was rumored? I think Cap was really on that the Bulls were really wanting Presti.
yeah, they should.
Would have been nice if we had him.
Well, it's like they have everything, and they're about to have more.
Yeah.
Because they have 10 first-round picks or whatever
Yes.
the next 3 years. It's
Yes.
fucking insane, and their team is the youngest team ever to win.
Yeah. And like
We're
none of those
we're
guys-
living in a Thunder era now.
And how many of those guys are finished products yet? Like Chet is not.
No,
Jalen Williams is probably not. SGA probably is. He's an MVP and he's won every accolade you
but how old is he?
can think of. He's still young for sure.
Yeah, he's only what, 23?
In his prime. He's older than that.
26.
26.
26. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I listen. We know the answer to this. Obviously, we're pipe dreaming Giannis. That's never going to happen. He probably wouldn't want to come.
I don't think he would sign off
Yeah, exactly. He wouldn't
Yeah.
want to come here.
unless he just loves the Midwest.
Yeah, there's also some weird things where I'm sure Milwaukee would never want to trade him to us.
I would.
Yeah,
I could
You
see
know.
that.
but that's not like a real rivalry.
It's not a real rivalry, but it is kind of a big brother, little brother thing.
Totally.
I know, but like, what are the sport? Like, we have the Packers, Bears,
Mm-hmm.
but Bucks Bulls has never been a thing.
No, not yet. You never know. That's
Could
the cool
be.
thing about rivalries.
Yeah,
It always
could be.
Yeah,
I mean, they're only
Spark
80
them.
miles away.
And we know the truth is they're probably just going to stand pat. They're going to make this 12 pick. and
That's
the
exactly
end of the
what's
story.
going to happen, Ed. They're going to make that 12th pick. It'll be an okay player that'll probably develop into a guy that scores like 18 points a game a handful of years from now, and then.
But it does make
the
me-
exact same thing when they're 41-41 in 2028.
It does make me wonder, because now I think the strongest suitor for Giannis is the Spurs. Probably they have all their picks.
yep.
They have De'Aaron Fox. They have Wemby.
That's
Castle.
scary.
They have
That's
all their
scary.
picks because the Bulls managed to only get their own pick back.
Yes, exactly. I don't know, because Kobe White to me is the most interesting trade piece. He's
I
the
agree.
one guy where if they decide to trade it and go that route, which I'm still not sold that they will, because I think they're fine doing what they're doing and being stuck in mediocrity. He's the one guy where I'm genuinely interested in what he could return. Because I think there is a potential where, especially if he starts next year,
I think
pretty hot.
I think you get more for him at the deadline than you would. In the
Probably.
summer. Yeah.
But he's not. Am I crazy when I say, and you jump in here too, Lance, am I crazy when I say he's not going to get a Desmond Bain package? That's crazy.
No,
Huge
but
package. But am I
maybe
crazy?
something comparable.
Am I crazy when I say he could possibly fetch a Vucevic type package? A young, high pick that needs a change of scenery and a couple
Seasoning.
picks
I
to a team that really needs him.
that's the thing.
That's the
I
big
do
thing.
think that he is typecast.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, hey, we need a quick 6 points off the bench here for this run. Put Kobe White. I don't think anybody looks at him as like a main piece.
No, he's not. He is Desmond Bain.
Yeah.
Light.
Yeah.
Very light. Where you already got Franz Wagner, you already got Paolo, and you're just looking to kind of add to them and Suggs. you
Yeah,
know?
I think that's comparable. I mean, he's not maybe a superstar player, but even last year he was a starter for the Bulls and averaged 20 points a game. A
And-
guy who averages 20 points a game is a pretty damn good player,
Yes.
you know, who
Yeah.
can help on a team that needs an extra scoring, you know, some pure offense. Kobe White's a guy.
And did I mention the best part about him is he is on a very friendly
Yeah.
contract. So that's where things can get really interesting. So what about this? Can I interest you in Zion Williamson? Would you do
You
that?
cannot interest me in Zion.
Not at all.
No.
You have
I don't trust his body.
there's nothing that would be like, okay, I'm ready for a new experiment. I am scared about this experiment. It might blow up the whole science lab, But
I sneaky. If they had more competent management, I would be like, I'm okay with this core, because you get Vooch off the books eventually, you get Patrick Williams out of here, but you sign Lonzo for whatever for 20 minutes off the bench. Kobe White can score. I'm very high on Buzelis. I like Giddey more than most, I think, and it's like, but you need like a genuine star. If I thought that they could find a way to add a genuine star to this group, I would be.
And Kobe White, this is the last year of his deal. He's coming in, so
then you got to trade.
There would be some type of extension that would probably kick in after a trade. But Zion, 3 years left on his deal, so that's it. You could give it a real puncher's chance 1 year, and then if it doesn't work, that's obviously like, all right, we just got to bite our lip for 2 years, because he's clearly not going to fetch as much as Giannis, so you could kind of keep this core more intact versus if you traded for Giannis. I think it starts and ends with Buzelis.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens with him. I think you could hold on to him. And what does a let's say Giddey goes out for him. Let's say it's like Giddey, Kobe White, and like 2 picks. I still don't know if that gets it done.
I don't think
for
it gets
Zion.
it done. Then you have no guards.
But let's say, all right, let's
This is what I mean. It's just like it's a Chinese
robbing
finger
Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
let's just make believe though that Lonzo comes back this year. Dude, I don't know.
I mean, if we're in the land of make believe, let's just go back to Adam Giannis.
I'm just trying to say what does
I don't think there's a way for this team.
I'll speak up right here as the non-NBA guy.
Thank you.
There is no path to instant competitiveness for the Chicago Bulls. All these hypotheticals you're throwing out, like Chinese finger trap, robbing Peter to pay Paul, like it's, I think, very blatantly obvious that the Bulls need to just trade everything they can for as many picks as they can and blow it up as best they possibly.
But I think that's the argument, Dave, that you're not hearing is the East is gutted.
I understand that, but like I don't think that there's anything that they unless it's like a very short-term fix to like go for the East jugular and try like no holds barred win the championship in the next year or two. I don't think they're going to do that. So I think we're just talking in circles at this point. It's a Reinsdorf-owned franchise, and they are completely content with being the 8th seed.
You're right, but sometimes it's fun to actually talk about things instead of be like, well, this fucking sucks. They're never going to do anything.
I understand that.
It's fun to dream once. This is a dream show right now, and I understand that. I'm saying, and I still, even talking through with you right now, I still don't know if Lonzo, Zion, Vooch, and Buzelis and signing another 2-guard does anything. I think you're right.
I don't think it does.
Dream in one hand, shit in the other.
But if you kept Kobe, that's not. I don't hate that 5.
I would take Zion Williamson. I mean, he played 70 games last year. That's
2 years
pretty.
ago.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he was
And
like
then
26, 6, and
24 points a game. I like it, and I'm always. I think he's a fun, exciting player. I would do it. I don't think we win a championship adding Zion Williamson, but shit, I'd do it.
Yeah, I'm just saying now's the time to actually make something fucking happen.
Yeah, and then you have a good season where you get kind of close, and maybe another free agent comes in, and then maybe they want to come play.
Yeah.
Do you like this? ESPN floated this trade out. It was Bulls get R.J. Barrett, and they give up Patrick Williams, Javon Carter in the 12. Would you do that?
Say it one more time. Sorry, I was pulling something up.
R.J. Barrett from the Raptors, Duke.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. You give up Patrick Williams, Javon Carter in the 12 pick.
Javon Carter didn't play. Patrick Williams stinks. No, I would rather roll the dice on the 12 pick than R.J. Barrett at this point.
Okay.
You agree with me?
I agree, for sure.
And R.J. Barrett, for a guy who, like, coming out was supposed to be
star,
a real deal.
And he averaged 21, 6, and 5 last year in 58 games. Like,
he's a kind of a product of where he played.
I agree.
They were actively tanking. It's like someone has to go.
Someone has to get these buckets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or else, like,
get these shot attempts.
It's the NBA. The Raptors aren't just going to go out there and score 60 points a night. So that kind of leaves in the draft. The draft is Wednesday, which is crazy.
Yeah, soon.
It is crazy how fast it comes.
Yeah, it is.
The hockey is Friday.
Yeah, wow, Wednesday.
Yeah, so the draft is Wednesday. So I want to get into that. Before we do, though, I want to talk about Ghost. I got this beautiful can of the iced tea lemonade here. It's the flavor of the summer. It's the all-new Ghost iced tea lemonade. It's bursting with lemonade and finishing with a smooth sweet tea flavor. This can is the perfect ride-along for all summer long. You can sip it on the course, the pickleball courts, or the beach. Just throw it in your cooler. And just it'll be a good mix. People will be
You're
happy
gonna
to
need
see
that
it.
today on the golf course, Ed.
I'm absolutely going to need it.
Why don't you crack one right now?
You're right. I'm going to go crack this iced tea. It's beautiful. Like other Ghost flavor, it's fully transparent, fully feel-good energy, 0 sugars, no artificial flavors, 200 milligrams of natural caffeine. It's just good stuff. You got the Welch's over there. That's my favorite flavor. Although I do like this iced tea lemonade. It's perfect for the season.
It is the summer one for sure.
You see 90s and you're just like, man, I need that. I need that Ghost iced tea lemonade. So go try it. It's sold nationwide for a limited time only. Don't sleep in this epic flavor.
The other name before we get into
great.
the draft is Jonathan Kuminga. That's been linked to the Bulls.
People, I'll get into that. But
Okay.
I also, NASCAR. There's nothing like seeing NASCAR roar through the streets of downtown Chicago. A race experience unlike any other. Catch the stars of NASCAR take on a one-of-a-kind street course surrounded by skyscrapers and lakefront views. 40 drivers, including Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin, battle it out on the most unique track of the season. The energy is electric. Race day adrenaline meets festival vibes in the heart of the city. Don't miss Zach Brown Band live from the start/finish line on Saturday night, part of the Busch Light Summer Music Series. This is more than a race. It's Chicago's ultimate summer weekend. Get your tickets now before they're gone. NASCAR takes over Chicago, street racing, skyline views, music, and more. Get your tickets now at NASCAR.com for the ultimate summer weekend. It's awesome. It's a great time.
Yep.
And we're going to get good weather this year.
Have to.
We're willing it into existence.
That one last year came up out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. It wasn't in the forecast, nothing. Like it said, Zach Brown Band's going to be playing there.
Elite.
It is like a festival.
Yeah.
So if you're like even interested, be like, oh, I'm not like, maybe don't know enough about NASCAR, just go and experience it.
Just even that's the thing. Experiencing when you feel it, like the vibrations in your rib cage. It is like a very unique experience. It's very
super
cool.
It's awesome. So go check that out. Okay, you brought up Kuminga.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with that fucking guy.
Okay.
Nothing to do with that fucking guy.
Why not, Ed?
Watching him play in the playoffs, he got some playing time once Steph went down. That guy, you would hate him. He is just not even an ISO ball. He's just got like that worst version of Kobe where he just gets the ball and like
He's a black hole.
Yeah, I don't think he sees anything else on the court. And to his credit, he does get things done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just not a pleasing style of basketball to watch. There's also been there's rumors, I should say, that he didn't play a lot before Steph went down because he wasn't like buying into Kerr's system. Like he didn't understand that it's a smart thing to get the ball to Steph. Like he was a little bit too much like, oh no, like why would I do that?
I'm just as good as Steph.
Yeah. So
That's a crazy thought to have.
yeah. So that, I don't know. Maybe that's too harsh on Kuminga if Warriors fans want to disagree. But my small sample size of the playoffs, which he did do well in when he got the playing time. Don't get me wrong. He had a couple good games. I don't think he's a winning player.
Okay. Well, he'll fit right
So
in.
that's it. Yes. Okay. But that's a name that fucking terrifies.
Well, and it's one of those things where it's like the rumor is that they want Vooch. So it'd be like a package of Vooch and something to get Kuminga, maybe Buddy Hield back.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is like their last best shot, the Warriors, probably. Because Steph is 36, 34.
Yeah.
You know, so Butler's 34, Curry's 34, Draymond's 36. So it's like if you're gonna get one more with that group, which that's the other thing. I don't know if you saw that meme where the Thunder's run. It was Ja Morant went down, Steph got hurt,
Aaron Gordon got hurt,
and then Hallie. So like every round of the playoffs, like a major player got
Yeah. So I want nothing to do with Kuminga.
Okay. All right, moving on.
I was gonna say to put it nicely, but that was not nice.
Yeah.
Whatever. The draft.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I just want action.
Yeah.
I've given up
it.
on the Bulls, so if they're making headlines and making moves, I can talk myself into
I get it.
kind of almost anyone.
And they're kind of at the point
I'm
where
tired of this group.
Yeah, I get it. And listen, flexibility is nice, but you got to do something with the flexibility at some point.
Correct.
So it is nice that they have all the flexibility in the world. They have they have cap space that's going to open up. They have all their draft picks, but like you have to fucking do something.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they will. And you got to nail those moves. My dream at 12 is the big guy from Duke, Maluch. Did I say his name right?
Believe so, yeah.
Yeah, Maluch. Do you remember watching him in the tournament?
Yep.
Yeah, he could shoot. That's my dream. But
Big stretch 5.
yes,
I'm on a mock draft that has him going 9th to Toronto.
I see him at 8 to Brooklyn.
I've seen a lot of reports that Ace Bailey is possibly going to slide. So
yeah,
we'll see.
mean, sure.
Yeah.
But it is a good draft, and I do think there's an opportunity to get a good player here.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for.
And wasn't
draft
SGA the 12th pick
I believe Haliburton was.
or Haliburton?
Yeah. So that's my dream. I would love Knippel, but he's going to be long gone by then. I think Maluch. I wish I knew how to pronounce his name. I should.
That's close enough. We all know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
That's my dream. And on that note,
Shea went 11th.
11th.
Yeah.
That was talking NBA.
That
with
was
the boys.
That was a hell of an NBA talk.
Nice NBA segment.
Yeah.
I told you guys, we're like, hey, Dave's like, I'm a little nervous. I'm like, nah, I think I
You got it.
clear
Yeah.
out for a second here. I think I could.
ISO
we could do
ball.
it. Yeah.
ISO ball, right, Ed?
Jonathan Kuminga.
On that note, anything to say about the Panthers going back to back? Because I think it brings up. I saw interesting things going around about what makes things a dynasty.
I don't think they're a dynasty.
I think you need 3. And
Do you need 3 in a row though?
No, I don't think you need 3 in a
Okay.
row.
No.
That was a.
I think 3.
Like I think that
5.
Blackhawks run is a dynasty.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But
3 and
people will
5,
say, I
3
think,
and
I think
6.
But that'd be like saying the Spurs weren't a dynasty.
yeah,
Like, of course they're a dynasty.
I think I saw your boy Laz was saying like you need 3 uninterrupted. That
No.
means that
That
you came.
guy's a fucking idiot.
That means you came in and nobody could fuck with you for
But it's
3 years
also-
in a row.
Yeah, and they're a great team, but like, no, I'm not even gonna say.
One more. If they get one more, that's a dynasty.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if they get one more in the next
2 in a row is not a dynasty.
If they get if they get one more in the next 2-3 years, that's a dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if I would even say if they
They're so fucking good.
Yeah.
if they go back
Now I will
1
say,
or 2 times and then win it like 5 years from now.
See, I think just because they kept the core, I'm talking about the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
That and,
That's a big
and the
part of
same
it, too.
coach. That's
Yeah.
what makes them a dynasty.
yeah,
Whereas if the Lightning were to win next year, like, would you consider them a dynasty?
yeah.
Yeah, you would.
Well, it's like they're-
dynasties.
so my only. This is such like a meatball head thing, but like they had COVID cups. You know, like they had a shortened season, the weird Edmonton tournament, like, and they played Montreal in like the finals. It was like, yeah, I don't know. So like the Lightning have a couple asterisks anyways, but their cores would still largely be intact. The only guy is Stamkos, who's gone, but like it's still Kucherov, it's still Hedman, Vasilevsky, like
Yeah, they still got
they're
that
Braden Point, like all those guys that won it are still
There.
like they're or not all of them, but a big chunk of their core is still there.
It's kind of similar to the Hawks. They are.
Yeah. Yeah, we never lost like our captain. But I think the Lightning got another one. And that was probably the team that gave the Panthers the toughest series in the whole playoffs, because I know the Leafs went 7, but it was just like games 5 and 7 were such a fucking beatdown that was like that series was never really in doubt. So yeah, they're very close to being a dynasty.
And do you think it happens? Like, you see what they return?
They got a big summer ahead of them. They got to figure out what they're doing. Are they bringing back Marchand? Can they find a way to squeeze Marchand and Sam Bennett in? My gut says that they will. Like, those guys are just like, they're so good. They love being down there.
Yeah.
It seems like a very tight knit group. So yeah, and then they have Ekblad too.
But if you're Marchand, what's the high end deal you think he could get this year?
What he turned down from Boston, I think he turned down like seven something from Boston. So it's just like, what do you want? How do you want to end your career?
Yeah.
Now, if I were Toronto, I would let Marner walk and Tavares walk for now, and try to sign Bennett and Marchand. They're like, we are changing.
That's very interesting.
We are changing the culture.
Yeah.
And we're going to go get the 2 nastiest, baddest boys from those guys, and we're going to stop being absolute fucking pussies in the playoffs. And then maybe you bring Tavares back, on like a cheap 1-year deal or something like that. But yeah, that's what I would do. If they can keep those three guys, Ekblad, Bennett, and Marchand, I don't see why they can't come back. I did hear, like, when you heard Matthew Tkachuk going through his injuries and stuff, there are people speculating he's not going to play until the Olympics. Like, he's so beat up, and he's going to need all these surgeries that he's not going to be back until February. Which, who gives a fuck? They're still going to be good enough to be in a playoff position with or without him. And then he'll come back because he missed basically everything after Four Nations this year. So, and then came back for the playoffs, and they just went on a run and fucking killed everybody. So and it's like the biggest storyline I thought coming out of that is all the talk out of Edmonton. McDavid's got 1 year left, and he's like, yeah, I don't know. I
saw that.
That
non-committal,
and I'm just sitting here being like, come to Chicago. Come to Chicago. Would you trade Bedard for him straight up right now?
Yeah.
How old is he?
28. Bedard's 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you?
100%.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be good for at least 6 or 7 more years at this level.
Till he's 35. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not quite. I mean,
he's so like
he's so.
You got to leave some of that skating speed at some point, right?
Yeah, but it's like even if he loses 2 steps, he's still probably one of the fastest.
You're right.
So,
you're right.
Yeah, that's that. And then you just look at Stan Bowman being like, what the fuck did I get into here? Because he and Leon too. Like, I would feel bad for Leon because Leon signed the big deal. He's going to be making 14. And then there's, McDavid's making 12 now. So you would assume that he makes more than that, his next deal, more than Leon's. So then he's in the 15, 16. And it's just like.
What's the cap going up to?
It's going up every year for the next 3 years. So
Scott says they figure it out, unfortunately, though.
I don't know.
No?
I don't know. I think it's like such a pressure cooker, and he's looking around. It's like, well, our team this year was worse, which it was. So because they lost Holloway, they lost Broberg on those RFA deals. The St. Louis poached them. They got some older guys.
He's got to be careful, though.
With what?
Because if he goes to the wrong team, I don't want this kid to get deranted.
Oh,
couldn't
like
do it. Lost
team,
2 finals.
Like he goes to Toronto.
Yeah, I don't want to see that happen in the hockey.
Don't.
I'm just saying, you have to be.
You
careful.
think he gives a shit if he's winning championships?
Yeah, I think a lot of people give a shit.
But I don't think the numbers. Where could he go? Like, I don't think the Panthers would not be able to afford him.
Yeah, it would be near impossible for a couple
So
places.
he would be like. Colorado won't be able to do it because Colorado couldn't justify keeping Rantanen. So I don't know how they're gonna have him and McKinnon. That math probably like, dude, Chicago makes some sense.
Well, here
Chicago makes some.
We
sense.
all agree that the sports mockery is the bastion of good journalism, right?
Sure.
They say that a top.
Well,
they're just citing someone. A top NHL insider says Connor McDavid to Chicago is a very real possibility.
Let's go get him and Brady Tkachuk and fucking it's the only the reason that it's a possibility is because they have like a running mate for him with Connor, although I don't think that they would be able to play well together, so they'd have 2 different lines, but still it'd be good. And then you have all the D, like everybody's on a rookie contract, so it's like almost like the quarterback thing. When you have a quarterback on a rookie contract, then you can fill out the rest of the roster. It's kind of like that in reverse, where they have Vlasic's locked up, Renzel has another 2 years, but like none of those guys are going to have like these holy shit contracts, as they're not going to have the numbers to justify it. Like they got Vlasic is going to end up being like one of the best contracts in the league. So like, and then they're I don't know, they could do something. Could you imagine McDavid with Nazar on a line? It'd be like the fastest line of all time.
be crazy.
That's what they should do. Just go get McDavid.
Is there a player that you're really chomping at the bit over? Because the draft is this week too, right?
They're in a weird spot. I mean, I want Michael Misa.
Any chance he falls?
I don't think he falls. I think it's more likely that they trade out of 3 than pick a guy there at this point. So I think they're exploring everything. That's been widely reported that, you know, they were linked to Svechnikov from Carolina. I was told that was 100% bullshit. It's like, okay. And then, you know, like there's the Islanders are trying to trade back into the top 5. So what are they willing to give up to get Schaefer and Higgins to really restart their rebuild? Are they willing to give up Matt Barzal? I would probably do that.
Is Misa good enough where you jump up a slot?
They tried.
Yeah.
Supposedly they were looking at that, but there are some people who like Frondell better than Misa.
Yeah.
So Frondell's a big Swede, but it's like people are like he's going to be like the Kopitar, like the bigger center, but I don't think he's like necessarily he's locked in as a center either. So it's like they're in a weird spot where the based purely on talent, it's probably that kid Martone.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really fit their profile.
He's center or wing?
He's a wing.
Yeah.
And he's a really good player. People keep trying to compare him to like the Tchuks. Like he doesn't play that way. He's just big. And he doesn't skate the way the Blackhawks. They don't draft guys like him. So I would be surprised if they draft. It would be like a departure from like their core philosophy of like skating. So, and then it's like they need centers. There's not like there's nobody that's like perfect for them at that spot, which is why I think they're looking at trading out.
And Schaefer's unanimous?
Yeah.
Number 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like one of those things. Would he be the number 1 pick last year? No.
Yeah.
But he definitely would have been the number 2.
Is there no shot that Misa jumps him?
No. Schaefer's one.
Schaefer's a guy.
Schaefer's the guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've seen crazier shit when, who was it? The Ducks they passed on Fantilli?
Yeah, they took Leo Carlson.
Yeah.
Well, Leo Carlson looks like a great player.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it was still like
it was
a jaw dropper.
Yeah, and I think if you look back at that draft, like Fantilli looks fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like another like sneaky dark horse team for Marner is Columbus, because they spent all that money on, rest in peace, Johnny Gaudreau.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's off their cap now. And they were very close to being a playoff team last year. They have a very good young core starting with Fantilli. Like, could they be a team that's just like, fuck it, we don't care. Here's all the money in the world. You get us into the playoffs. And I think like Marner makes a lot of sense for them. I don't know if he'll do it. Marner, that is.
Mm-hmm.
But Marner would really help that group. So I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting week. I think they'll probably trade Connor Murphy, which I hope he goes to a playoff team, because he started his career with Arizona, never made the playoffs, came here. In the Hjalmarsson trade, the Hawks immediately went to shit. And like, he's a good guy and a good player who, his dad has been a coach and a player in the league for a while. Like, he does everything right. He's never been on a good team. So I hope the Hawks trade him to a team where he can like have a role on a, potential playoff team. Yeah. But I think that'll happen this week.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Last note, Jonathan Toews, Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. He's from there. I think that he can help them. I've seen people projecting him as like their second center. That's crazy. So he's going to be a third, fourth line guy who will help that team win games. Do you see the structure of his deal?
No.
It's like
based.
Yeah, it's all like games played. Yeah. So it's like I think he can make a total of $2 million, but it's like if he plays 50 games, he gets a $500K bonus. If he plays 60 games, he gets a $500K, like stuff like that. They win the cup and he plays in the, half the playoff games, and he gets another $500K bonus. So it might be able to go up to $3 million.
Did they like watch him skate or anything?
I have no idea.
I
have no idea.
Is this just like a, hey, this is cool? Or
what?
I don't think
last year was 2022.
Yeah. So he's been out of the league for
That's
2 full
long
seasons. He
time.
like the whole thing where he went to India for healing, and
yeah, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's like, at what point, like, what do you think you're getting? I'm just
I think
play hockey. It sounds like
no, not him. I get.
Oh,
from the
Jets?
I'm saying from the Jets.
Yeah, I think it's more like this is a hole for our team that he could potentially fill. He doesn't have to be the leader. So he can just be a guy, which he hasn't been able to be in that position since he was 16.
Yeah,
so he was Shattuck St. Mary's in North Dakota as a freshman. He was their best player, him and TJ Oshie, and then came in the Blackhawks and, top, he was a 3rd overall pick. He came in with Kane to give him the captain the next year, and off you go. So like, he has not been able to, outside of maybe the Olympics, has not been able to be like just one of the guys for his entire life. And so that will be, I think, make his life easier. and then he can just do the things he's good at. He's still gonna he'll show up and win 58% of his draws. He'll be one of the best guys for that. He'll kill penalties. He'll so if you have a big face-off in your D zone, throw Jonathan Toews out there. He'll do a good job.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to watch because it was like the way that it ended for him. They really did Toews and Kane dirty, I thought, at the end, where it's like they did that interview with Pat Boyle, each one of them individually, in January, trade deadlines in March. Neither one of them had been told what their future was with the team. So
didn't Kane just buy a house?
Yeah.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, what did you want them to say?
We're trade. I would like.
No. Like for them to set up those interviews. Like what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What did you want them to say? Like,
I don't know.
We want to go. If they're gonna fucking tear this down to the studs, like we want to go play for a winner. Then it's like.
Or you could just be like, yeah, we know we've talked to Kyle, we've talked to whoever. This is our last time here in Chicago, and we're gonna try to make the best of it or whatever. But to be there in January, the two most important players in the history of your franchise in January, when their contracts are up in April and the trade deadline's in 6 weeks, and they don't know, like you haven't been talking to them all along the way, like that's crazy to me. So, and then with him, they trade Kane, obviously. Toews, they didn't tell him that it was going to be his last game, the last home game, until like 48 hours before that game. So it was like April 13th or 12th or whatever, and it's like they told him on April 10th, like, hey, we're not re-signing you. So it's like,
yeah.
That's just, and they have like an impromptu, he had, they won that game, or he almost won that game. I'm trying to remember. I remember he had a big moment and he took a lap and everybody cheered for him, but it went to overtime against Philly. And that was like, we're in full tank mode for Bedard. It's like, don't fuck this up. And
game was crazy.
Yeah. And then they beat Pittsburgh, and I thought they really fucked themselves. But yeah, so it was like, so it's like he didn't really get to end things on his own terms with his health and all the shit. So if he's healthy and wants to give it another go, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember I wish him the best. Dude.
Yeah. They named a lake after him up there.
Did they?
After he won it in 10, because he had the year where he was Mr. Canada. He was the most 2010. He was gold medalist, most outstanding player in the tournament, Stanley Cup champion, Conn Smythe winner.
That's a pretty good year.
I don't think anyone is ever going to touch that, because to be the most outstanding player in the Olympics and the NHL playoffs in the same year and win both things is. People forget how awesome he was at his
really
peak.
He was great.
Watch,
yeah.
And he was always kind of a little bit disrespected.
I think he signed that 8-year deal for the 10-5. He never lived up to that. His game did slip dramatically.
Almost kind of right away, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah. So he was on that I think there was a lot of reasons for it, but he did. He was never that 2010 Jonathan Toews.
Which is fine. You won 3 cups and you earned your.
But it's like people are like, he wasn't one of the best 100 players ever when that list came out.
I remember
it's
that, yeah.
Are you out of your fucking mind? When he was at his peak, he was, there was the whole would you rather have Crosby or Toews discussion, which was always you'd always rather have Crosby.
Yeah.
But even the fact that people were talking about it, showed how unbelievable he was.
For sure.
So. I love Jonathan Toews. I always will. I hope it works out.
Yeah, me too. He's gonna have a chip on his shoulder, so who knows?
Winnipeg, yeah,
that'd be awesome, and we'll be there. They'll be
I'll be
hanging,
cheering for him.
They'll be hanging the Keith banner on his return night, and
yeah.
We'll be at that game.
Well, he was the only guy who didn't come for the Chelios night, which I thought was weird.
Keith didn't.
Toews.
Oh, Toews didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because all those guys were in for that private party thing, and he was Seabrook, Keith. All those guys, were back, and he was noticeably absent. So,
hey guys, Viore is incredibly versatile and comfortable, perfect for whatever your day brings. Designed to look great beyond the gym, whether you're running errands, headed to the office, or meeting up with friends. The Sunday Performance Jogger is everyone's favorite jogger from Viore. Fresh take on athleisure and a staple of your wardrobe. Ideal for fitness, running, and training, but also stylish and comfortable enough to wear all day. Soft, lightweight, 4-way performance stretch. Moves with you, no restriction. Chief, what do you like best about Viore?
Brother, I'm wearing them right now.
Let me see him. Stand up. There you go. There's the V.
There's that 4-way stretch.
Suck up the V. Look at that 4-way
There we
stretch.
go.
That's great. You're ready to do anything.
Yeah,
Anything. You're going to dinner.
could be.
Going to play some golf. It doesn't matter. You're ready.
Yep.
Viore is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself in some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at viore.com/stretch. That's VUORI.com/stretch. Exclusions do apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to Viore.com/stretch and discover the versatility of Viore clothing. Exclusions do apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Interesting week for Madison Street teams. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Baseball-wise, shitty week for the Cubs, to put it bluntly. Kind of the week that I don't want to say you're almost waiting for, because they've been so good, but
I'm worried that they've been dealing with these pitching problems with the injuries with Steele and Shota so well for so long. It's like, is it finally catching up to them?
They gave up a lot of runs this weekend.
They sure did.
They did.
The wind was fucking howling.
It was
and
howling.
90 degrees.
Ray got shelled, Tyon got shelled.
Yep.
It wasn't good. It was a shitty week, like we said. They've kind of been playing above their expectancy, and especially considering who they've lost. But Shota comes back this week.
Yep.
Monster week. You finally take on the
Cards.
Cardinals. You go there.
4 games.
Yep. And then you
That's
play
a big one.
Then you play the Astros. So
Yeah.
maybe I don't want to say the most interesting point in the season, because we've had a lot of those already, because we faced a lot of tough teams.
Yeah.
But
This is like,
You got
what kind of team are you?
You got 7 games out of your next 14 games are against the Cardinals. So a lot of division games. Then you got Houston and Cleveland, both solid teams. Then Twins, who stink, I think, and then the Yankees. So you got a lot of big baseball games coming up in this next 20-game stretch for them.
Big.
Up to the.
Did you guys
All-Star
see
break.
the Bob Nightingale report?
I don't think so. What was it?
The Red Sox say they had conversations with the Mariners, Cubs, Padres, Blue Jays, and Atlanta about Devers before dealing him to San Francisco. Do you read anything into that? If the Cubs are checking in on a player like that, knowing his term and everything, are they A, going to be aggressive at the deadline? B, really, do they actually have the money to sign Kyle Tucker?
B, the answer is yes, absolutely.
I'm on record. I think we're signing him. I don't.
You do think we're
I
signing
don't
him?
think there's any way we don't.
I don't think you can let him go because it would be a legit mutiny.
That's what I've said.
A legit mutiny.
I've said that since the jump. The only way he leaves is if he wants to, and someone has a comparable deal. And he's like, you know what? I'd rather go to LA. I'd rather go to New York. That's the only way.
And he doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. He's super introverted, it seems like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he really gives a shit. He's from the Tampa area.
That's what I'm saying, though. If the
know?
Cubs offer him $475 million, and someone ponies up and gives him something similar, that's the only way.
You think they would do that?
I do.
I don't think
they
their back's
can.
against the wall.
They can't.
I think I'll believe it when I see it. I don't believe in this ownership group at all.
But why not?
I think if they were going to spend that, then they would have gone out and spent what they needed to get for Bregman. I think that this core group is all around 30 or over, and they're probably looking at it
It's a little different, though.
What do you mean?
This guy's 28. He's a legit
29 turning 30, right?
Yeah, 20.
5-tool.
He's fucking awesome. I
Top
agree.
15 player in baseball, 10 player in baseball.
Yeah.
Bregman, there could be an argument against it, even though I think they should have done it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it might not be apples to apples, is what I'm saying. Although I
could
get
see
your
Bregman
point. Where you're
falling off a cliff in terms of production. I don't see that happening for a long while with Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker is going to be a stud.
But they weren't signing him for a long while.
No, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but he would
Completely
have
true.
helped.
Yeah.
Again, I know he got hurt or whatever, but he would have helped that lineup tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'll believe the Tucker stuff when I hear it. I'm trying not to read too much into a Bob Nightingale report, but I was like, huh. Are they? Because if you remember back in, I think it was the 2016 year where they traded for Chapman, and it was Theo and Jed, because they gave up good prospect capital to Gleyber Torres, and they're their thing was, if not now, then when? If we're not going to do it with this team, we're fucking awesome. We're running away with the division. If we're not going to try to win the World Series right now, then when are we going to do it? So fucking nut up, put your chips on the table, and fucking go for it. And I wonder if they're looking at this team and being like, this team could do it.
I also think it's just that too. You don't have to look too much into it at all. Sometimes these reports could just be doing due diligence.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not doing your job if you're Jed Hoyer.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. Yes.
But like if you know how much term and how much money is left on Devers' deal, and you got told like what's even though, so you could have a deal in place to go get him, and then you kick it up to Ricketts, and he's like, oh, fuck yourself. But unless that's what I was trying to read into it, because it's like, if you know there's no money for that, why even call the Red Sox? Why even have a conversation if you know your owner's going to shit on it?
The Giants took back 100% of his contract, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe so. So obviously,
so if you're saying like you'll eat 50 or
you guys eat 50% of it, and then Boston hangs up is like, fuck you, the Giants are, that's probably how it went.
Listen, owners are people too, though. There's definitely players that they're all enamored with. You never know. Or it's like, hey, I know, like you said, we got.
I don't
this much
know
money.
that that's the case really for most owners.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
Probably not, but it's.
I think
possible.
they see it like it's a toy for them, and I don't think they're fans like we are.
Yeah,
they
probably,
look at it totally
probably
different.
not. But
I wish they looked at it like us. Like there are the exceptions to that, like a Mark Cuban or someone who's just fucking hellbent on victory. But I don't think it doesn't matter what sport. I think largely, it's just like a rich guy's
vanity. I get it for sure.
Yeah,
I was like, Devers. Like I don't even know if I would have wanted Devers.
He's a fucking punk bitch.
Okay, see.
I mean that's like even like
I'd rather have Chris Sale.
Oh,
if they're buying at the deadline, I'd rather have Chris Sale.
Chris Sale just got hurt.
But I think it was minor injury.
What happened with that?
It's like
because he started off the season really poorly, but it was like all smoke and mirrors. Like cheap hits were leading to 6-run games and shit. I think I saw he hasn't given up a run in like 4
he had a rib cage fracture, so he'll be fine.
That's a rib cage fracture. You got
15-day DL. He's fine.
I mean, that could change.
It's not like he's getting Tommy John.
No. Of course not. But like a rib cage, you can't fucking cough with a broken rib.
What does this?
It's gonna take
about
a
rib
minute.
Cages.
I've never broken a rib, but I've heard it's like the absolute worst thing you can break.
Yeah, I've heard that.
15 days. He's fine.
He's fine, but I don't think he's fine for like probably another 6 weeks.
Can we book a rib cage expert for the show next week?
Yeah.
I'm on it. Yep.
Can your dick doctor tell us anything about rib cages?
Probably not. He could probably put us in touch with a rib cage guy, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would fucking kill me.
PCA
is awesome.
That is a big part of the motivation for wanting Chris Sale.
Yeah,
it would just fucking kill White Sox Dave.
Crush me to see him playing for the Chicago Cubs. It would crush me. And
be awesome.
It would be so great.
I'd love to see you be crushed.
Yeah.
I think last year
because you've been so down, it's been hard to crush you.
Yeah.
So it's like, but
not really. He's kind of
pepped up a little bit here.
Yeah, for players, not for
correct. But like,
how can you get pumped up for a team that might win 60
You
games?
can't.
I agree, Dave. That's what I mean. It's like you have been more optimistic than you were, more positive, not optimistic.
I'll call out when players are. I'll say this about the White Sox: their brand of baseball is good. They just don't have any good players. Like they play the game properly. True. They don't make errors. They went like 10 games without making an error. They're like their base running has been exponentially better. We do have to talk about. Did you guys see Clint Frazier's article?
No.
Or not article. He was on AJ's show.
No.
Oh, we have to talk about this.
Well, how much do you before we get into that? How much do you put this on Venable? Do we feel like
I think a lot of it is on Venable and Getz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I am.
This is kind of what they wanted to do last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is exactly what they wanted to do with that fucking clown dick Pedro Griffel. And we'll get into the Clint Frazier stuff.
Clown dick's perfect for that guy.
Clown dick is a very, 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 very baseball term. Like I'll say it in just normal conversation. People are like, "What the fuck did you just say?" I'm like, it's kind of a baseball dugout word, but. Lance, like I don't know if we should. You guys have to see this clip. beforehand. So if Lance, I'll send it to you. It's quick. But it is one of the funniest, most disparaging, like, White Sox quotes clips I've ever seen.
You want to give us a little something?
Hold on, I'm gonna have Lance play it.
Now you got to experience what I like to call the White Sox experience. Okay,
Dude,
after I was gone, please explain the difference between the Yankees and the White Sox experience. They would let you have long hair, but you had it was a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
I left my White Sox hat sitting upstairs, and I almost wore it for you. Like, dude, it's the only baseball hat that I wear. I'm so proud to be able to say that I was a Chicago White Sox for so many reasons. So, like, I'll be honest, like, AJ, that was the most fun I've ever had in a baseball experience. But it was not, like, as a fan, the reason I was having fun was, like, you don't want me to have fun for those reasons. Like, it was not.
Tell the reasons. Tell the reason. Like, why were you having fun there and not in other places?
It was. Brother, when I got there, I just specifically remember being told, like, I'm not going to throw people under the bus, but it was a staff member being like, we got a lot of superstars that don't want to act like superstars. And he's like, I need you to bring some energy because these guys do not hustle. They don't try hard. Dude, I saw what looked to be like 8 different season-ending injuries to, like, the naked eye, all for them to go to the hospital, get diagnosed, and, like, not even a bruise. And it was just like, these guys didn't want to play. Like, they didn't want to do stuff. I remember specifically, like, one dude's laying on the ground in the batter's box, like, looked like he broke his back. And I looked at the trainer and was like, what's going on? And he's like, dude, that's just normal, man. Like, we're not gonna go out there and check on that. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. And I mean, got between being in hitters meetings and guys being on their phones while the manager's trying to hype people up, like, just like straight, like, I mean, challenging the people that were in charge was all I saw. Like, prisoners running the asylum, no doubt. There was no. They put a group of guys together that was like, what's like a militia. Like, they were not gonna go down. It was great. The players.
Which would you rather have? It sounds like you're saying no rules White Sox to all the rules Yankees. Which would you rather have?
White Sox all day, dude. Like, that was like if the Red Sox got a documentary, the White Sox are so much more deserving of it. From the, like, if you want to get the fans involved and see what's really going on in these locker rooms, you had to have been in that 2023 Chicago White Sox locker room. Like, that was I can't even, I don't want to do that to certain people, but that was the most fun I've ever had. I'll just say that.
Wait, can you give me anything else? You don't have to say any names at all. I'm not asking for names.
You can say a name. Lance Lynn.
Well, Lance is our buddy. But
he's my pal.
Was there anything else that you observed there that was different from the rest of your experiences? As you mentioned, there were guys that didn't want to play. Anything else that you would be there and look at and be like, this is documentary worthy. This is not what I've seen anywhere else.
I'll give you one thing, because this is unlike any experience I've ever had. I'm not going to say his name. I don't want it, because some people are still playing, right? I'll just beat around the bush. But there was a time where a player did not hustle down the line, and in his eyes, he didn't know where the ball went, is what he said, right? Like, he swung and didn't know where the ball went, and had no idea that it went in play, and that's why he didn't run. But in the manager's eyes, like, he was not going to have that. So he went over to this certain individual and was like, what the hell? Or sorry, like, what's going on? Like, why aren't you hustling? Like, I'm going to take you out the game. And this was like the first couple days I was there. This guy looked back at the manager and was just basically like, if you take me out this game, we're going to have a serious problem. And the guy was like, "Are you threatening me?" And he goes, "Take me out this game. We're going to have a serious problem." And like, this guy did not come out the game. And I was like, holy, like this guy he just threatened the manager. Like, we're going to have a serious problem if you take me out this game. And like, I had never, and he stayed in the game and was in the lineup every day moving forward. Like, it was like, wow, who's really running this team?
Okay, so we just listened to it. We'll summarize a little bit. Hopefully we get at it, and can we reach out to the people at Foul Territory and see if we get at it?
So their producer sent it to me as it was being recorded live. He's like, you got to watch this shit.
Foul Territory on YouTube, right?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Hopefully the clip can stay in. We're terrified of copyright and shit nowadays, but
I'll ask
regardless,
them
we
if
will
we
ask
can
for
cut
permission,
it in,
because I think that's worthwhile. And that is infuriating, unsurprising, and
see, you say it's infuriating and embarrassing and not like. I disagree. I think my reaction to this was the exact same as Clint Frazier. I was just laughing, like, because it's so White Sox. And so I went back. When you guys were listening, this is the first time you guys listened. Did you guys know who the players that he was talking about? Because it's very obvious. I think
Moncada,
obviously Moncada,
Eloy.
Yep.
I think
those are the two obvious ones. I'm assuming now. I've done this many times playing baseball. If you foul a ball off your shin or your foot, it obviously it doesn't look bad on TV, but it fucking kills.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna drop for a second, and there's gonna be just like an instant of pain, and then you walk it off, it goes away. You saw that, like Moncada would look like he got shot with a 50
all the time. Yeah,
and like so he's a pussy. Who do you think was the one that was like who was threatening the manager?
Was it Grandal?
Yasmani, totally Grandal.
Oh,
totally.
I remember.
So this is rumored, or is it?
No, I because I remember the play. Yeah. I remember the play. He just it was a foul ball, and by his reaction, the ball was put in play. He did look like he thought it was a foul ball, but he also caught the ball in play like he should have ran. He should have ran for sure. But there is a little gray area, and like it was obviously Yasmani. So like to their point, the inmates were trying to run the asylum. Like they weren't trying to, they were, and that's very White Sox.
That's infuriating to the point where you literally have firsthand now that the fans cared more than the players.
Totally, totally. It's in
which you kind of knew already, but to hear it from the horse's mouth is a little different.
And the way he says it, he's like, and this was that was the end of his career, Clint Frazier. I think he was the third or fourth overall pick in like 2016 or 17 or whatever it was, and to say like his waning days as a professional baseball player with the White Sox were his favorite days because of all the bad shit he saw, and he just didn't give a fuck anymore. Is just like that's the most condescending part about it to me.
Yeah,
it's like,
bad.
oh, it was my favorite time. Like he probably like was doing no work. You know, he's like,
that's why I say it's infuriating, because the height of your misery was the peak of their happiness.
It's like every man did they miss, like, and it's not just the White Sox that missed on these guys. It was the entire league, and it goes to show like you could have all the tape and analytics, and some guys just don't have that it. You know, that it factor, which it looks like a lot of guys on the Cubs do.
This is where it's like Jerry Abozo, like. If you want to medal, why don't you medal in this shit? Like, realize what's going on with your fucking team.
And that is
medal in the right places.
You know, and we talked about Rick Hahn, where he gave all those guys those big long-term deals, and it was like, there's like, thanks.
And when he when he went out and fired, not fired, Tony La Russa left for health reasons. Air quote.
Tony Russa had to be like, what the fuck is this team?
But I don't even think it was really hit. I think it was the Griffle change that really
totally.
Because
I don't
manager
think,
when they made the playoffs and lost the Astros? Tony.
What it was? What's his face with the Cubs for the 2020 playoffs? Then they fired him, hired Tony. Obviously, the wrong move at the time. It's like they still should have never hired Tony, but at least Tony like had the respect, I would assume, of the locker room. He's Tony La Russa.
Gravitas.
It wasn't Pedro Griffle.
He wasn't Pedro Griffle.
Right.
But the thing was, Tony obviously should never have been there, and when he wasn't there anymore, they zeroed in on Pedro Griffle. They're like, that's our guy, we got to go get him.
Because he was
man, did they fucked up so bad. Like
insane.
It's insane how bad they fucked up, and
it does kind of. It answers the questions of like, how did all those guys just get worse? Because when they came up, Eloy was great when he came up.
31 home runs in like 115 games.
Moncada, Robert,
that quote when he says, "This looked like a gnarly injury," and some guy just says to me, "Oh no, that's
every week."
Yeah. Like we deal with this all the time.
Oh, it's so
funny. We got a bunch of superstars who don't want to be superstars.
Yeah.
And then fucking Andrew Vaughn in that camp too. It's like how do you get your entire core are all just fucking bums?
They
losers.
They had fucking chips on red and rolled black 8 straight hands.
But it's like they all had the same defect.
Totally. Yeah.
Which is they were like you would think that's
between the years.
Probably contagious in some way.
I think a lot of it
I think it's probably like you're susceptible to
attitude reflects leadership,
But it's like to have that because all those guys are so talented that not have one of them have that dog in them to like kind of pull drag the other guys into the fight kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's wild that they're all just fucking bums.
It is. A couple more notes here to close out the show. Caleb looked like he had fun at Summer Smash. Good for him. Mm-hmm. Jon Jones retired.
That's
so fucking annoying.
It's so fucking annoying, isn't it?
This is the problem with combat sports, dude.
They have all the leverage.
And the fights that you really want sometimes don't end up happening, and it sucks.
So what do you think would have happened in an Aspinall Jon Jones fight? I think Jon Jones rips his fucking face off.
But then why didn't he do it?
I think that. Like, that's what I didn't get when we had Bilal in here a couple months back. I asked him, I'm like, he's like, I get why Jon wouldn't want to fight him. He's like, why tarnish your legacy? But like, if everyone thinks he's the greatest of all time, I don't think a loss to Aspinall when he's 40 years old or whatever changes that.
Almost every great goes out on their back, dude.
Most of them do. Yeah. Almost every one of them. Who did? I mean, MJ kind of didn't.
MJ, kind of didn't. Yeah, because he was in his peak. I don't think Lennox Lewis ever went out. He reached Floyd. Yeah. Floyd Mayweather never went out.
Like, I don't know.
Floyd never got touched.
It really sucks. But now what? You don't have you got Aspinall and that's it for heavyweight.
Yeah,
that's it. Curtis Blades, I like the guy. We had fun with him when he choked that out at that video game thing a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Super, super nice guy. Total teddy bear in person, but like he's not a heavyweight.
No,
champion.
I don't know if they're gonna go call Nagano back or I don't know.
I would bet money that's what we're gonna see.
But it sucks. It's far and away the worst part about being a fan of that sport.
Now, did you see the Chicago card?
I did not. I just saw the main event.
Okay, the main events Duplessis versus Chimaev. Yep. Awesome main event. Then we got Chase Hooper is going to be fighting that. He'll be coming into the office. There's a couple of I don't have it up right now, but it's going to be a really good card. I'm super pumped for it. But all this the last few months seeing like because I always assumed they were gonna come up with the money. UFC and convince him to do it. Like he says himself, Jon Jones is like, I don't walk outside my house for less than $100K, and everybody on planet Earth wants to see Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones, and they like it would have made the UFC money. Everybody would have gotten rich off it. Yeah. It sucks we're not going to see it.
It does.
It sucks.
And maybe it's not 100% true. I don't know. There's also like some alleged charges going on with him right now. But
with Jon? Yeah, with the dude, right? Is that
I don't know. I didn't read into it. I just saw that his lawyer made a statement.
Yeah, there's sexual assault guys again, like hazing stuff. It sounded like.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't look into it deep enough, but it sucks. Sucks. He's not going to fight Aspinall. Your thoughts on Joe Burrow throwing a baseball?
I don't understand how that's possible.
I think it's very possible.
It's impossible.
I think you're used to throwing a ball a certain way.
Dude.
You're one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't like.
He throws like this.
I get it, but like
you can still aim so much. Like Lance, would you have had that bad of a throw? Emily, would you have? Did you see the throw? Like I don't think you would have thrown. It would have been better.
I don't know if it's a grip issue. I don't know, But
there is a difference. But I've seen it go the opposite way, where like baseball guys can't throw a football
because your arm action is way longer.
It's a way different.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a football guy just be like not able to throw a baseball.
Not be able to throw it.
Yeah.
It doesn't compute in my head how Joe Burrow can't throw a baseball.
I get it.
Of course you get it.
I get it.
Got the yips on
exactly.
a lot of things.
He looked like a yips brother.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a yip thing. That was a speed pitch. You don't have to really aim even. You're not trying to.
That's not how the yips work, Dave.
I know how the yips work.
They got an ugly head that they rear.
I understand. I had the yips my freshman year.
I feel like he hit the strike zone once.
Yeah.
In the clip that I saw.
Yeah, he struggled. You wanted to bring up from the Barstool Basketball Association. You faced Dave.
I mean, I had Dave on skates.
You did.
Yeah.
Not because
you almost hallied me. When I went by you and then you were stumbling back, that could have been a disaster for your boy. You had no body control.
Me?
Yeah.
I had body control. I didn't.
How did that have body control?
I didn't fall.
You meant to do that?
No, I didn't mean to do that. But if I didn't
then
have
you
body control,
lost your body control.
I would have fell. No, you got me. I was cheating to your right, which I always do when I'm playing basketball because none of us idiots know how to dribble with their left hand. So that's what I was doing. Then you went left, and it caught me by surprise. You got me. I even said it in real time. I'm like, he got me. I won the game though.
Won the game though, baby.
Smokes won the game.
I did my part.
He hit a 2.
But I watched that back, the shot he hit, which was like a Larry Bird wing 3 high off the glass and in. Like you were trying to swish it.
Yeah, you never.
And you missed by 3.5 feet.
Shooting a layup, you're not.
Who was a girl on your team?
Annika.
And did she have a layup?
No.
Goldie won it. I call him Goldie. I know his name's Oldie. I call him Goldie because
I was like, Dave needs to get it 2. Like Smokes is going to get 8 points. They need to find 3 from someone else, and you guys did it.
Yeah.
Good recipe.
Our teamwork is flawless on team.
Yeah, you guys are a good team. You guys are a tough team,
and you're still alive. So
and we we'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
you're still alive. So tune in. It's on the Barstool Sports main page.
This might be a good time to then address the skate off. We've been receiving a lot of comments that we haven't formally addressed our skate off.
Skate off was a bad scene. Skate off was a bad scene.
Why?
I agree.
Question. So why, like, I know you get into a point where you feel that people come at you too hard. Why aren't you making him address this then? Like, why? This is your moment to, like, kind of get in, and you just kind of, like, have taken a back seat.
Because, like with most challenges, I don't care about the other person as much as I care about my performance in a challenge.
But you do care about equality in this room, and there is a lot of like, why not you? Why not you? Why not you? Like that's why
Dave got me in that straight away.
Yeah, because on the lap we did, I didn't think that. I thought my performance was bad, and I expected better of myself. I think I could have skated better, and that's why I'm not giving him shit because I'm pissing myself.
Gotcha. So the win is voided because you had higher expectations for yourself.
Kind of, sort of. I don't know. Like, I don't care about the win or loss. I care
What
about,
is a challenge that you would care about?
It's like the cons.
Because like you worked your ass off in that basketball.
Yeah, there was money on the line.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
the cons thing was like 3 months. Obviously we had talked about this for a while, but like I can't
But I'm not cons, Steve.
I think that I skated maybe 15 times in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I've ice skated as an adult, you've been with me at the Roanoke thing like years ago, the like fantasy camp thing. Mm-hmm. A couple of the videos
ESPN thing.
Yeah.
Maybe just running and baseball related that you would really take pride in.
I think it's the opponent. I think cons irks Dave in a way that nobody else really does.
Can I admit something right now?
Sure.
The cons thing I took so serious that I never verbalized this, and I'm hesitant to verbalize it now. I was training so fucking hard for that.
Oh, really?
Really?
Every day on the Peloton, I got a Peloton tread and a Peloton bike. On the Peloton tread, I would I would run with him in my mind until like I was on the verge of puking my
Fuck
guts
yeah. I fucking love this revelation.
And I have my Peloton in my second bedroom, and I shut the door. There is zero circulation in that room. So by like minute 10, you're just breathing in CO2. You can't breathe. There's no, and that's my method right now. I just train, and every time I'm like, I don't think he's running, but I'm gonna make sure that I am, just in case this race ever happens. And
he gave you shit about that treadmill.
And have we talked about Danny Conrad yet? Did we?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That kid should never ever talk about sports ever again.
Why? What did he do?
He's okay. First of all, he just doesn't know anything about sports. But so when we had Cons on the snake draft 2 weeks ago, was it? No, 2 weeks ago. I was doing some homework on him, and I went back and watched the yak of the race day. So I didn't see the first like 30 minutes because we were at the track, obviously. And Danny Conrad's like, Dave's whole thing is that he runs on a treadmill constantly, but that's not the same as running outside. So he's like adding 30 seconds to his mile time. My best mile time, I haven't done it in a while. I could break 6 minutes, no problem right now on a treadmill. At the time, it was 6:04, and I'm like, I think I could do about 6:30 outside. And Danny was like, that has no correlation whatsoever. And KB responds, he's like, I think running's the only thing that matters. And it's not just if you're running outside or inside. It's like, if you're running, you will be better in a mile race. Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Kind of,
yeah.
Danny was like, no way.
I haven't seen his full quote, so I don't know.
Yeah. He also, the layup challenge, you had problems with him there too.
Yeah, because he looks like he's Bambi on ice when he tries to dribble or take a shot or anything.
Yeah.
I thought he was better than I expected.
And the layup
But
thing?
he didn't really play. What layup thing was it?
The Barstool.
Oh, I didn't see that. He didn't really get any. I just seen the. He only played like a minute because the whole formation of the league changed where
Yeah.
everyone girl on the court. But
No, he stinks.
He's not an athlete.
Yeah.
And I do have I said this.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's waiting for his moment.
Ed, he's not. I have a take for I think who would be my, off the top of my head, best athlete in the Chicago office. Do you guys know who it would be?
No.
Who you think it is?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to say yourself?
Mm-mm.
Smokes?
I hope you don't.
No, take him out of it. Besides Smokes. Smokes is the obvious one.
Well, let's keep this because I think you're going to spoil something if we
I'm
go
not.
this way.
I don't even, no, I'm not. I'm pretty sure he didn't even play in the basketball thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm Ebo. Ebo's a great athlete.
Yeah, he is.
Ebo's a very good athlete.
He is. All right, we're running out of time. Anything else before we wrap up? Oh, I'd like to address something too when we're in the address.
Oh,
mode.
you got something to address?
Yeah.
No, we're wrapping up.
I would like to address. Listen, I fucking know Ice Cube is from the West Coast. Time out.
You didn't get
I
shit.
understand.
Now listen.
I understood.
Thank you. Did I say it wrong? Yes. My point. My question was, what was your role? Like, were you just kind of out of it? Were you on the side? Were you watching? Like, I wanted to know how it was because they weren't in the fucking weeds with them.
And like his beefs, if I'm remembering correctly, were all internal with NWA.
Yeah,
which
that's
were
how
obviously
I remembered it too.
West Coast. He wasn't in on the Tupac, Biggie.
Yes.
Right.
So like, you're not gonna. Is he fighting their battle? Like, did he jump it? I did
Correct.
not.
I understood what you meant.
Thank you. I was unclear on Ice Cube's role in the Biggie versus Tupac West Coast East Coast. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I was asking that. Did I frame it wrong?
Can
Yes.
you understand why people...
Totally.
Okay.
But I think if people had a brain like Chief, they would understand what
do
I
have
was
a brain.
asking.
Thank you for saying I have a brain.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That's my point. If you like, you don't think I know Ice Cube's from LA? We talked about LA the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That was.
I mean, his reaction was also he misunderstood you.
I guess, but
He did.
He did because he was like West Coast. of
yeah,
course.
but it was more like, what was your role? Were you one that were like, hey, we're just gonna sit back, we're gonna see how this develops. If they call us, we'll help out. Like, I wanted to know more about where he was sitting during that rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. All right, that's it. Good show.
All
I
right.
think it was an okay show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. We talked some real sports.
I'm going to try to get Clint Frazier on, and I'd like to get him nice and lubed up so he has nice and...
He's that redhead
loose.
guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Thanks
Some of
everyone
the
for
best
watching.
bat
Thanks
speed
for
I've ever
listening.
seen.
We'll be back on Friday. No show next Monday because of we are off for 4th of July. So see you Friday, and then that'll be the last show for a week. See you then.